connected because it's behavioral, right? So it's good to have you here, Cristiane. How's it going?
I'm glad to be here. And just to think that we've been doing this for a year now, it's quite incredible. Um, I just want to qualify this word anger a little bit before we go into it. Um, what is anger? We tend to see as negative and all the ugliness that comes into our behavior, right? But the brain, the body, it doesn't qualify emotions. For the body, everything is an emotion, plain and simple. If it's excitement or happiness or anger or stress, the body reads emotion and it's going to react the way it would, because what does anger do to you? It tachycardia, you hyperventilate, and your thoughts make you go into fight or flight kind of mode. So the body is going to respond not to the anger itself, but to the automatic responses that your body is producing. So with that is great news for us. If the body doesn't recognize anger as bad or good, we have a potential to use that into shifting into good. It's not all bad. It's still energy. It's still a very powerful energy. So let's channel that energy that the body will process however we offer into a channel of good. So instead of saying, I'm always angry, so I'm in a bad place. Wow, the energy is there. You are reading it as negative, but the body will read it just as energy. So if we can power that energy into a good channel, we fix the problem and use, capitalizing on that, just so we don't beat ourselves up with we're angry. That was really what I wanted to have as a clean slate here to start. It's not negative. We all have it, but we can shift into something more positive.
Yeah, that's exactly. I we both did a brief study on the American Psychological Association material about anger, and we're of course it's a long material, but you can check on apa.org, and they have a very good, very good material that talks about anger, their definition exactly just like you put it. Anger is a negative feeling state that is typically associated with hostile thoughts, psychological arousal, and maladaptive behaviors. So, all of that to say is that it's within us, right? It's just, and I brought here just a correlation from the Spirit's book on the question 89. It says simply, wherever your thought is, there your soul is. So we are, our soul are made of our thoughts. So all of these feelings, all of these emotions, whatever we are, it's whatever we're manifesting. Can you guys hear? Well, it's put the mask now, so I don't feel a little awkward. So it's important. I also brought just another piece of the this other piece of the Spirit's book on question 984, very at the end of the book, because are we predisposed to be angry, to be hateful, to deal with the world in such a way that we are feeling that the world is against me, everything's falling on my back? Why bad things happens to me? And there's this question that Kardec asked for the superior spirits. Are the troubles for our earthly life always the punishment faults committed by us in our present lifetime? So he wanted to know if it everything that happens here now, it's because of its consequences of what we're doing just now. And the spirits, they have said so many times before, and they said, no, we have already told you that they are trials imposed on you by God or chosen by you in the spiritual state, and before your reincarnation for the expiation of faults committed by you in a former existence, for no infraction of the laws of God, and especially of the law of justice, ever remains unpunished. And if it be not expiate, which is get rid of, clean up, do it better, in the same life, it will certainly be so in another. This is why persons whom you regard as excellent are so often made to suffer. They are present life for the faults of their past existence. It sounds a little harsh and heavy, but it is what we are, our personality, what we are inclined to do, the atmosphere that we have. It what we are right now, we have always been this way. What we're in each incarnation, each reincarnation, we are letting go all of this weight. So we are much better now than we were a few lives ago, and we still have room to improve, right? So one of um, the points that we would like to stress here, and like for Christianity to explore that a little bit, is that we have to see ourselves as a spiritual being because we're so materialistic attached to our body, to day, that we forget who we really are and what's going on in our being as a spiritual being before we are in this envelope that we call body, and what this energy that anger causes like a bomb can do to us. And then just a few points that we have from that material. And I don't know if you have a chance. We have a first figure there. That person has all of the chakras, all of the bioenergetic fields aligned. So it's like we have this from top to bottom. It's like a field of protection of life, of connection to the universe. We are like, when you wake up, you're like in awe, amazed. Everything is beautiful. Something like when you're in love with life. Everything is good. And we're just like, wow, I'm feeling right. That's because everything is so aligned, so right that's we're in that situation. But once we start getting stressed out, we start getting out of focus, we started getting our thoughts going every direction, we start to get our chakras or our life fields or bio uh, bio powerful fields in disalign, and that's at one point will be completely with in a draft of energy. You would like to explore that a little?
Um, when Adriana was reading The Happy Life, she said she read this passage that talks about you gotta be present to your commitment. When you make a commitment in life, you gotta be here. You gotta show up. And we show up in a fight and flight mode, you're not really showing up. You're basically reacting. So every time we go through anger, we are not being present and showing up. We are mostly just being reactive. So we already left. We already checked out. I'm already trying to avoid whatever the situation is. So the being present is no longer because I'm already mad. I don't want this for me. I'm done with you. Goodbye. Ciao. And I'm already elsewhere. I am no longer here present. And this is what shifts your center. When Valdo talks about your chakras not being aligned, when you are no longer here, you are already mad and you already, when somebody is telling you something and you're mad, you don't even want to hear what that person has to say. You already planning your answer and you're like, stop talking so I can give you my answer. You don't even want to know what's in that head. You already have an answer. So your job is to focus on how can I answer in a reactive mode and keep her quiet. That's the anger mode. So every time we go into that, we end up being off-centered. And when we are off-centered, the energy cannot be very well aligned. It's just the nature of energy. When you are trying to fight or flight, you are not here. The energy of being here is no longer. I am in love, basically in love right now with magnetism, and I see it everywhere. I can't help it. I've been studying it a lot, so I have to go there again. I think I've been going there a lot. We've been studying a lot on the properties of this body of energy that surrounds us and that connects this physical body to our spiritual world, right? This transition between being here and being there, there is this layers and layers of um, energy that makes this connection. When we go for our passes, we are working on those energy levels, trying to get that aligned so we can interfere in our physical body and also interfere in our spiritual body and everything around. This perispirit, this energy that surrounds us so we can live in the material world, has the properties talk about how pliable it is, how elastic and expandable it is, and how influenced it is by this. What goes here, transfer all that into this. So, what you tell me, what you think about, and I tell you who you were with. That's when we were kids, the parents would say, "Tell me who you're walking around with, and I'll tell you who you are." Now, tell me what you're thinking about, and I'll tell you who is surrounding. When you think in a more positive, present way, not reactive way, that pliable energy around you just soaks up that good stuff that you bring with you. And then it starts to level it. You start to be more centered, more present. The same way, when you are around people who are being angry, if you go in that same anger mode, what do? You make it so much easier for the anger to come and go. Then you're just sharing, you're being super kind to one another, just sharing that anger. And then everybody's angry together. But let's say I am present here and I'm having good thoughts and I'm focusing on being present with thoughts that are expanding the good inside me. And somebody comes towards me with that angry mode because everything is very pliable and influenceable. Is that that word? Okay. My good energy with the good thoughts will be just soaking through. So even if that person is super angry, she can get to you because it's like a shield of goodness that doesn't allow that stuff to come to you. But if you are already in that ugly spot of thinking of all you do is invite all that, then we have a party, an angry party, because you just invite all that to be around you. So, yes, we do get angry. We do go through times when you feel offended, you feel that somebody's not hearing what you have to say, you don't feel validated as you're going through your journey here. But when we know who we are and we know why we are doing it that way, we can just say, oops, stop. You know you are getting into fight mode here. Then that's when you say, what are my strategies? What are my alternatives for not letting all that influence my energy, my perispirit? What kind of property can I use to protect from all that? One of the ways to do it, when you have the positive thoughts, the perispirit has this luminosity that is inherent of each one of us. The higher we are morally, the higher the ability of illuminate the surroundings. We are very dim these days, right? But as we progress, maybe 1,000 incarnations down the road, we might be in a brighter place. But right now, we're kind of dim. But we kind of shine a little bit more when we keep breathing those good, positive vibes, and when we help the ones around breathe that same positive vibe. So every time we choose a positive thought, a positive outcome. I'm believing that we will do it right, that we will stay present and we're going to do it right. We expand the light inside. Literally, it's not just a figurative way of saying it. Actually, the person gets lighter when they do research on people like Chico Xavier, and they talk about how the expansion of this light around him is meters. I want to say 10 meters or something. It's like crazy. But we we're not there. I get it. But we can get a little dim light around a little firmer if we keep on working. So the idea here is not to say we cannot get angry, we're not going to get angry. We will. The thing here is when we know why we get angry and we are more aware of getting there, we learn that if we want to influence our perispirit in a way that is in a protective way for us, in a supporting ways for the ones around us, we have a better outcome. We switch from the called bad anger into using that energy into good things. Does it make sense? It's not, it's just physics. When we study the perispirit, it's just physics. You you put more water into a, a bucket of dirty water, it will still be dirty water. But if you make a hole and let all the dirty water go away and you keep putting clean water, eventually it's going to get cleaner and it'll dilute it. So let the bad go, let the good come. And it's just simple physics. No two bodies can occupy the same place at the same time. Same thing, you know, if you have the good in you, the bad can come. If your good thoughts are here, when you have something ugly in your mind and you start thinking peace, 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 you can think peace and ugly things at the same time. We're not that powerful. So if you choose to think peace, somebody's yelling at you and you're super angry and you say, oops, I'm going to do it different. And you go, peace, 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 or whatever comes to mind, love or patience, whatever it is. When you're saying that and you go into repeat mode, whatever is coming from that, the other people around, it can get to you because your surrounding is already full with this good thought that you decided to go through. You're not being suggested, go do this. No, you made a decision. I am going to think this, and you're going to dilute what comes. The same way, when somebody comes yelling at you, you can test this. I'm sure you've tested this. If you've been married, you've tested this. Or if you are still married, you've tested it. When somebody comes yelling at you and you yell back, what happens? The, before you know, the neighbors are like, everything good here? But when that person yells at you and you just respond calmly, let's talk, or I don't understand, whatever you're going to say in a calm voice, what is the tendency of the other person? To lower their voice. Same thing with this energy around us. It will respond accordingly. If you go with the positive, the negative has to go down. You tone it down. You, it is there is no other way around it. You have a choice. You choose to tone it down. The other person might try one more time, and then you tone it down. It's the person feels awkward to yell. It feels awkward because you're not yelling, and you don't even have to say anything. Naturally, the other person pick up on the fact that yelling is not taking us anywhere. Just simple things that you, if you observe this energy, this very spirit around us that connect us to this world and help us be around one another in a good way, responds the same way. What you put out comes back to you. So if you put something a little more positive, the more positive comes back. But the other one is also true. If you put all this ugliness, you invite more ugliness, right? So this is the beauty of it. We have control. We have a choice. It would be very hard to deal with this if we just have to do, oh, it comes my way, what can I do? Like so and so has bad energy. There is no such thing as bad energy. That's the energy of the energy is energy. However, we choose to accept that energy into our field is how it comes to us. So bad energy is not a good excuse, because if that person has bad energy, it's because you're allowing that bad energy to get to you. That means your energy is not that great at this moment either. So that's when we have to stop and think, where are we with this energy, this anger, or being mad at things?
You said two things there that it came to mind. You said physics, right? So in magnetism, it's a part of nature, and if we are attuned in a certain vibration, in anger, in negative thoughts, through the force of magnetism, we're just going to invite similar forces to be around us. Because have you heard misery likes company? That's exactly how it is. And we have, we don't see them, but they're all around us. The spiritual world and the material world, they're interconnected. So all of this energy, all of these spiritual beings, they're surrounding us. They will get close to us according to the vibration of our thoughts. And with the uh, cosmic fluid, the universal fluid that connects, like Christiane said, our perispirit to theirs, we will communicate and they will be close to us. It will be much better to have the best energy around us possible, right? So the other thing, that not to sound cliche, but you said something about diluting. It came a picture to my mind that I heard, and I said I have to use this example sometimes. You have a big bottle of Coca-Cola, and your Coca-Cola, whatever, is carbonated, right? It's carbonated soda. And then if you shake that a lot, for some reason that's get very shaked up, if you open the top of it, what's going to happen? It's going to be very messy, right? So you heard the people say, chill out, chill out. If you take that same bottle that's already shaked up, instead of open the cap, which is like, if you make a parallel, it's like we are the bottle, the soda that's all shaked up, all angry. Open the cap, we're gonna spill a mess. It's just we open our mouth and we just let it hang out, just like they say there. It's gonna be messy. However, if you take a step back and you chill it, put it back in the refrigerator for 10 minutes, let it chill. You're gonna open the cap 10 minutes later, and it's gonna be fine. Because all of the pressure, all of that stress that was created, you, we re-educated the energy. So anger, it's not bad. It's how we direct that. We have to recognize that it is part, and it's energy. We have just to make sure we understand it, and then we can redirect it and be a little be smart about it. In this screen here, and we're talking about this spiritual alignment and all of this good stuff. Uh, there are these tools here, and we don't have, like I said, much time. Our program is about 20 minutes of talk and then 20 minutes of actual meditation. Christiane is gonna lead us into a good guided meditation for us to use all of this message, this reflection, and we can start gearing our energy. If we have any negative energy within us, I don't think none of us have any negative energy, right? We all
We
zen
all
here,
chilled.
right? We all chilled. But if we do, we're going to together try to channel this out, let it, put back in the refrigerator and let it chill. But these are, according to the article that I mentioned to you from the American Psychological Association, they said that the best way to transform the anger into good energy, relaxation. Relaxation is many ways to relax our mind. It's not just relax our body. We have to take a break. And meditation, it's in the top of that category. Cognitive restructuring. It's nothing but be mindful. Change a bad thought with a good thought. Just change it. You change the energy of that thought if you redirect it. It's all about redirecting and re-educating our minds. So that's the cognitive restructuring. Problem solving. Most of the causes, the source of us having a lot of stress, a lot of anger, and a lot of issues not resolved, it's because we are most times being part of the problem than the solution. So it's like taking a step back and try to trace why is the situation happening this way, and taking responsibility. What did I do here that contribute to this situation? So once you identify the root cause of a problem, it is a great beginning. And if you add your amount of responsibility to the situation, then you become a problem solver instead of problem maker. Better communication. This is like, I don't know, in the female world, but in the male world, most of you guys gotta agree, we men were bad communicators. I cannot generalize because I know that there's very good communicators here. I'm a bad communicator because when we talk about communication, it's not just intelligent communication. It's emotional communication. We felt this a lot with our spouses, with our children, even with our friends, our co-workers, because sometimes we just have to have a little more compassion in how we things will come out of our mouth. And most times, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. And and then using humor, sometimes situation is so bad that it's like, if you cannot solve it, try to find the best of it and try not to take everything so personal. We are so dry and acid about the situation. It causes a lot of anger because we're just seeing the worst of the worst of the worst. And if you and if you take yourself a little bit out of the equation, and most of the times you're going to find humor. Don't let a situation change who we are. So let's use that humor. And last point here on this article, it's changing the environment. Sometimes it's the people around you, it's the place that you are. And there's a lot of energy around you that you have to say, what the heck am I doing here around these people? You know, if if they're not helping you and you're not being able to help them in an effective way, you're both wasting your time. You have to be feeling good about yourself if you're going to want to help anybody else or any situation. So you have to take a step back, get out, try to change, and then once you can see things more clear, exactly. So I just wanted to share this point before we go to our exercise, and I don't know if you have any final.
I just want to give a quick example of understanding, cognitively understanding how you react to things. When you get angry, do we all know our patterns of when I get angry, this is how I perform. You have to have it clear in your head. So then you can recognize and you know when you have to shift gears. I'm going to give you my example. When I am angry, when I can't stand it and I feel like punching somebody, I recoil. That's me. It's not a good thing. People, ooh, it's not a good thing because I'm not exploding, but I am imploding. Neither one is good. Some people think this way that I do is better. I don't know about that because, but what I know is when I recoil and that turmoil is in here, it gets so much bigger that I feel like I'm going to explode somehow. So you're never going to see me yelling. You're never going to see me cursing. You're never going to see me punching walls and things like that, like I've seen other people do. I am not that person. But when I recoil, trust me, inside this head, there's a lot going on. Nobody can see, but there's a lot going on. I know my pattern. So when I see myself recoil, I know it's my cue to act. So find your pattern. Make this your homework. Find your pattern. How do I perform when I am angry? Once you find your pattern, it's easy to say, oh, there I go. That's when you say, stop, Christy, stop. And what are you going to do here? You're going to go for a walk. You're going to take a breath. You're going to say a mantra of peace, 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 whatever it is. But you need to be aware of what is your pattern so you know how to act. And then we can go to all this good stuff of thinking positive, diluting the situation, making the positive reach out to the other ones. But the crucial piece here is figure out what is your pattern, what pushes you to that point, and how you respond. Once you can identify that, you've got the tool in your hand. Oh, got it. I'm getting there. So this is time to act. Then you go through your list and you find how you're going to do it. But until you have a clear picture of how you respond to anger, you're not ready to do anything to it. Because if you don't know what you are looking for, you don't know how to react. Okay? This is homework. Your homework is go home and figure out what are my patterns when I get angry. And everything else is just a walk in the park. Okay? We're going to walk in the park right now. It's going to be so much fun.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna just dim the lights. We're gonna have for the next 15 minutes an
You
exercise.
guys going to have permission to be angry for 2 entire minutes. 2 minutes. Yes. So take a deep breath, and you can even frown your forehead here if you want. You can get tight. Just go to that one moment, maybe this week, maybe today, that made you feel really, really, really mad. Just pay attention on the situation, what was happening, who was there, how you presented yourself, how it felt in your heart, in your mind, your body. Really visit this feeling of being angry, possibly feeling less fearful, not belonging, afraid of what's coming next. really pay attention to this feeling. We're going to sit with this feeling for 10 seconds so we can really feel it. This is very uncomfortable. I need to step out of it, but I will choose to work through it. The color of this feeling is a dark, dense color, possibly a brown, black, gray, that sits at the center of your chest. We are not going to push it away. We are going to work through it. Taking a very deep breath. Press these colors away from your chest. Push them, blow them, crack them, expand. Taking another deep breath, push it harder, blow it away harder, crack every little piece that's still left behind. See all those pieces getting further and further away. Tiny pieces disappearing, dissolving, diluting into just plain energy. We sit here with another deep breath and just observe the surrounding that is just clear of those dense colors. Now we look back into that chest that is no longer full of dense colors, but clean, expanded, and open for a very positive seed to be planted. This is a very special moment. We're going to shop in our memory bank and find a very joyful memory that makes us laugh, makes our heart warm, makes us smile. We're going to select that memory and place it right there at the center of the chest. And we're going to let it pulse. Happiness, pulse, joy, pulse, peace, pulse, serenity, pulse, presence. We let that joyful memory pulse and spread through the body, the arms, the legs, the head, connecting to the universe and pulsing, surrounding us and pulsing. Let it find that long gone cause of the first anger, and let now this joyful energy touch that angry moment and just let it cover it. And expanding through the surroundings, touching everyone around us. Pure joy, pure presence. We take deep breaths and we see this joyful energy spreading even further, reaching out to the ones we love, the ones we haven't seen in a while. Reaching out to those who could use an extra hand. Reaching out to those who don't know they need a hug. We're going to stay here, letting this energy of pure joy and pure presence guide us for the next few minutes, taking a deep breath and letting the body just feel it.
As we meditate, as we reflect upon this existence, the challenge that we have, let's elevate ourselves to be closer to our spiritual friend. Let's invite the power of this loving Father. Let's invite the power of the Master, the doctor of our souls, the teacher who is set up the route for us to reach perfection one step at a time. Let's feel this power of love that's coming from the very, very special place in the divine. Let's feel ourselves embraced with love and in peace. And let's close with a prayer so we feel even more blessed, more protected. So our energy transforms. We change our thoughts of negativity to positivity. We just wish well to ourselves, to every human being. We wash away all of this stress of politics and this crazy violence that's going on. We take responsibility for all the good that it is to be done, our part in helping our brothers and sisters out there, sharing, giving, having compassion. And we are so blessed with so much, especially with the blessing of life. And it is with gratitude that we say, for the deepest of our hearts and our souls, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us, Father, not into temptation and deliver us from evil, especially the evil and the negativity that still finds home in our hearts sometimes. Let us free ourselves from it. We are your creation, and we know that we are just so close to live the better version of ourselves. For thine is all the kingdom, the power, and the glory, so we can have better days every day. We can touch hearts, we can touch lives with our example of humility, our example of peace and unconditional love. And so be it. And so we're gonna have our brother Tim invite us for the passes.